Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're stepping out of the usual settings and heading to the streets, the historic streets of Turin, actually.
Right.
We're diving into the Turin Auto Show, the Salon Auto Torino, which is, well, it's roaring back into the city center.
Yeah.
September 26th to the 28th.
And it's not your typical auto show setup, is it? You really have to paint the picture for everyone listening.
Exactly. Forget the big convention halls. Think over 100 new cars, something like 50 brands.
Yeah.
And they're just out there. The open, spread across the historic heart of the city.
Right between, a fancy gelateria
Mm-hmm.
and maybe a 17th century palace. It's quite the scene.
It really is an open-air festival celebrating horsepower, and maybe the best part, it's completely free to the public. Piazza Castello, the Giardini Reali. You just walk right in.
And that free open air aspect, that's precisely where let's call it the debate starts. Because for every person who thinks, wow, this is great, so accessible, there's someone else, often a real enthusiast, saying it's maybe a bit chaotic.
Chaotic.
Yeah, like a public spectacle that's maybe lost some of that focused prestige. The seriousness of a proper salon, they worry it's more about attracting tourists than, serious car people.
Okay, let's unpack this. That's the core tension, isn't it? Accessibility versus prestige. That seems to be the thread running through all this.
Definitely.
So today, our mission is to really dig into that. Look at this polarizing identity the show has now. We'll also examine the brands showing up because that's a story in itself.
Oh, absolutely. A global shift right there.
And then compare the the loud supercar action with the quieter, maybe more refined classic car side of things.
It's really a case study, isn't it? How does a very traditional industry, the car world, try to adapt? How do they embrace being modern and accessible without, losing all that heritage?
Let's start right there with the format. This decision-free, open air, right in the historic center. It's a big move. Why do you think these major car manufacturers, the OEMs, are buying into this? Swapping a controlled exhibition hall for, well, probably a logistical headache in the middle of town.
Well, part of it honestly has to be about the marketing budgets. Those traditional indoor shows, they are incredibly expensive.
Right, the huge custom stands, the rent.
Exactly. Going open air like this, the city itself provides the backdrop. It cuts down costs for the brand significantly. And it's a different way to engage people, isn't it? Less formal, more about just bumping into the cars. Spontaneous discovery.
And the payoff for the public seems huge. Walk around, see 50 brands, totally free. You could argue it's brilliant for creating that next generation of car fans, lowering the barrier to entry to, well, zero.
Oh, I agree. The intent is there. Lowering barriers is good. But it does fundamentally change the environment for potential buyers. The purist argument, which comes up a lot in the sources we looked at, is that a real show needs a dedicated venue. They specifically mention the old Lingato facility.
Lingato. Remind us, for anyone who doesn't know Turin, why that place holds such significance.
Lingato is, well, it's iconic. The huge former Fiat factory, that famous test track on the roof.
Ah, right. Seen it in movies?
Exactly. Holding a show there implied something different. Exclusivity, controlled environment, serious fans, industry insiders all gathered. When they call this new format less of a salon and more of a street fair, they're missing that dedicated, almost professional atmosphere. They worry this version is built for, a million curious onlookers, which might dilute the quality of the interactions for serious buyers or industry folks.
So is the underlying concern really economic? If it's free, does that mean the real buyers, the ones ready to spend serious money, won't show up? Is it about the quality of the crowd?
I think that's a big part of it, yes. If anyone can wander in, maybe it doesn't attract the high net worth individuals looking for a private viewing or a serious discussion away from the crowds. The prestige shifts, from the controlled, exclusive event to the beautiful backdrops, the Baroque architecture takes over. It becomes more about the spectacle than the serious business.
Okay, so the where is definitely contentious, but the who? The list of brands actually exhibiting, that tells an even more, maybe surprising story about the industry right now.
Oh, it's a fascinating snapshot, truly. You look at that list and you see the global power dynamics playing out right there in Turin.
First off, you have to acknowledge the European legends are there. You've got Abarth, Alfa Romeo, BMW, Mercedes.
The usual suspects.
And of course, the Italian performance icons, Ferrari, Lamborghini, Maserati. That's the heritage people expect.
Sure, and the hometown brands, Fiat and Lancia. But, their presence almost feels more symbolic now, about local pride, maybe heritage. Meanwhile, you have this huge, very visible contingent arriving from the east, particularly China.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting.
This is the seismic shift. We're
Bang.
talking about major players. Bide, Denza, DFSK, Dongfeng, Geely, Jaku, Leapmotor, Omoda, Voya. That's a lot.
Wow, that's a significant list. Not just one or two, but a real wave.
A massive group. And they're not just dipping a toe in. They're making a strategic push, asserting their presence
Right.
in Italy.
Which is, the heartland of automotive design, arguably. That's a calculated move.
It is, and it's causing some ripples. We saw comments from some veteran Italian journalists who were almost anxious, saying the list felt less like Turin and more like, quote, the Guangzhou Motor Show's Italian campus.
That's quite a quote. Shows the level of concern, maybe?
It reflects a real economic anxiety, I think. This level of competition showing up right on their doorstep, it's intense.
But couldn't you argue Turin is the perfect place for them if you want that stamp of design approval, that credibility in Europe? You go to the source, right?
That's the strategic thinking, absolutely.
And speaking of debuts, they're launching a whole new brand there, Lepus, from the Cherry Group.
That's right. Lepus is making its official debut, showing their full range, including a specific model, the Lepus L8 Super Hybrid SUV. It's a major statement.
And they even created an award for it.
This is the part that really stands out. They've established the Piemonte meets China Turin Automotive Design Award.
Wow.
They're literally giving out trophies that acknowledge Chinese design influence right there. In Turin, for some traditionalists, that feels less like healthy competition and maybe more like, well, a surrender, acknowledging the shift in power.
I see that perspective, though I'd lean towards calling it maybe fusion. Or just reflecting reality. It is fierce competition, no doubt.
It's definitely reality.
It's a true snapshot. So while you can definitely see classic European metal, the bigger story for anyone trying to understand the industry is this huge influx of global competition making its move.
And for the visitors who are just there for the sights and sounds, the pure spectacle, Turin delivers on that front too, both the loud kind and the quiet kind.
Right. Let's talk about the action. Beyond just looking at parked cars, a good show needs some noise, some movement. And Turin's got that big supercar meetup on Saturday, the 27th.
Yeah, the Bolidi, as they call them. Super bombs. 100 high-end supercars.
100. Wow. Where they run?
They start out at the magnificent Regia di Venoria, the royal palace just outside Turin.
Okay, grand setting.
And then they parade right into the city center, into Piazza Castello. Imagine the sound. 100 V8s, V12s echoing off those historic buildings.
That's pure theater, burning rubber spectacle designed to grab everyone's attention. You can't get that feeling in a stuffy exhibition hall.
Exactly. It grounds the event in that visceral sensory experience.
Right.
That's the loud, fast heart of the main free weekend.
But then, for those who prefer things a bit more polished.
Yes, for the purists, maybe. For those missing that exclusive feel, their moment comes after the main public show is over. The Free Festival wraps up on Saturday the 28th. But on Sunday the 29th, there's the Festival Car Elegance Contest.
The concours d'elegance type event.
Pretty much. A refined epilogue. The noise dies down. Over 80 classic cars will be on display. But the key is where it happens.
Where's that?
Not in the city center. It's held in the beautiful, quite exclusive historic village of Rovigliasco, which sits in the hills overlooking Turin.
Ah, so deliberately separate, more exclusive.
Absolutely. The location itself signals that. It's away from the main public crowds. It feels like a final traditionalist statement. Quiet, focused on polished chrome and heritage. It caters directly to that segment, valuing tradition above, well, mass accessibility.
So the irony is pretty stark then. The most traditional, maybe most prestigious part of the whole Turin Auto Show event happens after the main free festival is done and dusted.
Precisely. It's like they're trying to offer both extremes, the modern, loud, accessible chaos during the main days.
And then the quiet, classic, exclusive finale afterwards.
Yeah, it perfectly encapsulates the show's split personality right now.
So what does this all mean? If we boil down everything we've discussed, what's the final verdict on the Salone Auto Torino 2025?
Well, I think you have to say it's a show in a very active transition. On the plus side, it's definitely accessible. It's free. The location, the historic center, is undeniably stunning. It creates this fun festival vibe, which is probably great for pulling new people in, younger people maybe.
Okay, positives noted. And the downsides, the caveats.
The main one is it clearly lacks that focused, prestigious feel of a traditional indoor salon.
Yeah.
You know, the kind industry insiders or serious collectors might prefer.
Right.
And then there's the brand mix, the heavy presence, the dominance almost of the new Chinese brands. While it's a totally accurate reflection of today's global market,
Yeah.
it might feel a bit jarring, maybe even alienating for some European enthusiasts who came expecting a purely traditional European car celebration. It forces you to confront this new reality head on.
So it really is a microcosm of the whole industry shift, isn't it? Towards global players, towards more public-facing, experience-driven events.
Exactly.
Mm.
And if you're there in Turin, you can apparently debate all this directly with the experts. The folks from the magazine Al Volante will have a stand, number 16, in the Giardini Reale.
Okay. Go argue with the pros.
Why not?
Yeah.
So the takeaway, Turin's show is maybe a bit messy right now, a bit conflicted,
Hmm.
but definitely interesting.
Undeniably interesting. It makes you think, doesn't it? Can a motor show still be seen as truly prestigious if the doors are thrown wide open for free? Or does prestige require that exclusivity?
That's the question to mull over.
Absolutely. Well, for more reviews, updates, and deep dives into everything happening in the auto world, make sure you follow our channel. You don't want to miss what's next.
And thanks everyone for joining us as we explored the streets and the strategies unfolding in Turin. We'll catch you in the next one.